All right, new year, but same old me. But there are some big changes that are in store for crypto over the very next 12 months. So just give me 2 minutes, and not only will you be more informed, but you're also going to be better positioned. Crypto in 2026, it runs on a completely different logic. And this is going to be the part that a lot of people, they're going to miss, but not you. See, this year, it's not about guessing price. No, it's about understanding what's changing throughout the entire year. And that's going to be quarter by quarter. All right, beginning early in this year, the rule book, it finally starts getting written. Over in Europe, the Market in Crypto Assets Regulation, also known as MiCA, it goes live. And the goal, it's pretty simple. It's actually going to be one rule book that's spread all across Europe. And now these are supposed to be the real standards for both exchanges and issuers. And it's supposed to add more consumer protection. But I also want to clarify something because there's a big misconception about what this thing is. MiCA, it doesn't actually tax crypto like a lot of people believe. Instead, it makes crypto more visible. And once it's more visible, then yeah, those governing bodies, they can enforce their already existing tax laws. Now, meanwhile, over in the USA, Congress, they're going to keep moving forward on the Clarity Act. And this is going to decide which crypto assets are securities and which ones are commodities. Now that distinction, it matters more than a lot of people even realize. That's because it's going to decide who gets to regulate these assets, how they can be sold, who's even allowed to sell them or offer them, and more importantly, what rules everyone has to follow. Now, let's switch gears a little bit. Quantitative tightening, yeah, we already know, it's officially ended. But that doesn't mean that the money printer is suddenly flowing again. Financial conditions, they're still going to be a little bit tight. And liquidity, it doesn't flip on just overnight. You got to think about it like this. See, it's like opening up a casino where everyone is still broke. Yeah, the lights are still on, but ain't nobody rushing to those tables to place their bets. All right, then we get over into Q2. And guess what? The Fed, they finally get a new chair. Now, personally, I think markets are going to react pretty well to that. Not because inflation just magically disappears. It doesn't. But it's going to be because the next Fed chair is going to be more likely to be dovish and a lot less politically motivated to intentionally shock or sabotage the markets with a statement. See, markets, they don't need perfection. They just want predictability. And they also don't wait around for press conferences or official rate cuts. Instead, they usually front run. And that's because they move on direction. So if the tone starts shifting from restriction, confusion, and FUD or fear back over towards controlled easing, then those liquidity expectations, they'll change first. Now by mid-year, the rules, they're already actually being enforced. Remember MiCA? Well, it's live in Europe. In the US, they should have defined regulatory lines. And that means liquidity, it might finally start improving. In crypto, well, it starts to feel safe. But that's where a lot of beginners and even seasoned veterans, they're going to start to get in trouble. See, regulated, it doesn't mean risk-free. It just means that everything's now legal. And that feeling of safety, well, it's usually when people let their guard down. Now, late in the year, politics is going to show up in a big way with the 2026 US midterm elections. And that alone, it's going to add a lot of uncertainty. On top of that, the final Bitcoin distributions from Mt. Gox, guess what? They're expected to hit the market. They belong to early holders who've been locked out for, ready for this, more than a decade. And guess what a lot of them are going to do? That's right, they're going to sell them once they finally get access to them. So when you combine that extra supply with election uncertainty and those late cycle dynamics, you're going to get a lot sharper and more emotional price moves. And liquidity, yeah, it could still push those prices higher, but the risk, it doesn't disappear. It just gets a lot harder to see. Now, here's the key takeaway. So the game, it's pretty simple. Don't rush in early. Be skeptical when things start to feel very obvious. And also get very cautious when confidence, it gets very loud. I'm Christopher Douglas, and I teach crypto the way that I wish that I had learned it. And that's through clear language, real context, and long-term thinking. Godspeed.